they float.
Focus on watching rather than picture. You're not gonna get it.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jason is a social scientist. They're going to capture some hummingbirds.
No, don't sit on
and
this. I'm going to fall over. Sit right here.
ban them, I guess.
They're so tiny.
They're setting up traps right now.
There's so many of them. That one's trying to get in the can. There's so many and they're all so tiny. Look at that one. It looks like Ruby.
So now we wait. It's like fishing. Hopefully I'll go in.
Yeah. Yeah, can get the picture.
And now we wait. Time to trap. The both are for the same type of thing. You can see that they all have a door. The metal trap you just have a larger opening, and the top one has a smaller opening, but they collapse, so they're a lot easier to transport. And this thing's spinning. I don't think it's going to work very well.
Jack, do you want to say hi? Jack, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Alex, you want to say hi?
Hi.
So if you want to actually perch on the feeder, you can go up through here and you can pick them off, and then they fly away. And you really want to put little bracelets on them. Little bracelets on each bird. Once they're in the trap, you close the door or cover the door, and then you gently take them out and put them in a little bag. Doesn't hurt the bird, you just take them over to the banding machine. They go and have their wing measured, their tail, their bill, and take a weight. And amazingly enough, the girls go for swings. The boys run. So cute. And we have caught some birds more than once in a day. I think the record is somewhere between 7 or 8 times we caught them. So obviously we don't get
looking for?
Collect wing measurements,
Okay.
the length of the tail, the length of the beak, and then for a bird that was born this year, they have grooves and etchings on their bill, and you can see that under with a magnifying glass. So we could look for the groove to see if it's an adult or if it's one born this year. And then we might look for fat or if it's molting. For a male, that's a new male that's born this year, they might have the start of gorget feathers. The gorget is that red, the red, that's the gorget. And they might start, growing in like a feather or two or three or so, count how many there are and record that. Sometimes you make notes, if there's something different about the bird or they want to pound on them or something like that, you might write that down.
Okay. Do other places trap these to look at them?
There are more, there are a lot more banders in the south. There are only 2 hummingbird banders in the south.
Oh.
And they both, I think maybe got her license in 2013, and I think the other woman got hers maybe this year.
Oh, so that's it. Okay.
And that's it for the state. There are a lot more in the south, they have more hummingbirds. So yeah, there are, like one of the birds that was banded was caught in South Carolina. And then you can watch the process too once you get to the table. You can watch that. No, and the little wires. Like they have chatty little things and
Well, you know what? They don't like being petted. They don't like having people touch them.
So some of them are real talkers, but he's fine.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing to scream like that, because then most predators will let go. No, wait, no, first one. Oh no, he's not hurt at all. So we're gonna go over to the banding table if you guys want to follow.
Mickey went to hummingbird banding school to learn how to do this.
Wow.
And it was 4 days. He worked very hard. How many birds did you band, Mickey? 300?
A lot of birds.
So she has a special permit. And because of that, he gets a helper.
So they're small, so it's hard to see. So get real close to me if you want to see. Okay.
She's caught a hummingbird.
So the first thing we do is we take the bird out of the bag carefully.
And I'm going to ask
Yeah, so
They have
You can
really
watch, you just
strong
don't ask,
feet.
you don't mean, okay? Thanks.
have you ever had the bird like when you're trying to do this here, like fly out on accident?
Oh sure. They're fast. So
Yeah.
Are you just tagging them?
That's why we mentioned we like to wait for them to be on a feeder before we go up to the cage.
So the first thing we have to do is figure out if this is a boy or a girl. This is a female. She has an all white throat. And then we have to see if she has a band on. Oh, she's a feisty little thing. So see her leg here? There's no band, right? So we're gonna put a band on her. And the player's only close so far, so I don't have to worry about hurting her leg. So you see the band on there? Moving around real loose. Number 66.
Yes.
I can tell she's a wiggle worm, so she's not going to let me measure her wing. So what we're going to do is measure her tail. Maybe. Sometimes they are real, especially when there's a lot of chasing going on. They don't. 27 for a tail.
66, is that how many you got this whole year so far?
It's we keep track. It's just the next sequential number.
Yeah, we banned several locations, so. 17.15 is the bill. So we want to do this pretty quickly because these birds are eating machines and they always want to go. The grooves are 80%. So young birds have etching or grooves in their bill. You can only see that with a magnifier. And as they mature, it recedes from the tip backwards. So adult birds are nice and smooth. And she weighs 3.26 grams.
Grams? Wow.
Which is a very good weight for her. I want to see if she has any fat. Okay, I need to reposition her because she's really wanting to go. So
Mickey's willing to answer questions, but sometimes if there's condensation, I have trouble hearing the measurements.
So what we're gonna do, you're gonna put your hand flat. Okay, like so. Ready? She's gonna go.
Wow.
Oh, she pooped on you. Look at that. You got a little present.
Any molt or?
No, I don't. I didn't
You
look.
can wipe in the grass. That was super cool.
I got a feather.
Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you were here, and hopefully we'll catch some.
That is amazing.
Thank you for this.
People, huh?
Notice when days like that, when they're doing that, when I'm handling them, they're all fidgety and because I think they just are in fight mode and they just want to go. So we ban them. It's a very quick process, as you saw. And if you guys want to look, there's numbers on each band. You can pass that around. I have to hand cut these bands and make them. So it takes me about 2 hours to do 100
There's a
bands.
fly on your hat.
It's through the U.S. Geological Survey. They issue your permits and your bands, but I have to make the bands. I have to cut them, I should say. And so each bird gets its own number. And so they are so precise in their movements that we try and band at all our sites on or close to the same day every year because they're that precise in their movements. So we increase our chances of recapturing them the following years if we show up on those days. So last weekend we caught 12 birds that we had banded before. 2 were from 2015, 2 were from 2016, and the rest were from last year. So we get really excited when we see recaptures. They were excited because our birds made it. But so one of the reasons we're banding is to learn more information about Wisconsin's hummingbirds. No one has really studied them closely. So if you want to look at the data sheets here, males are smaller than females. So males get actually a different size band. They actually get a little bit smaller band than the females, 5.2 millimeters. It's very minute. But it makes a difference because some males are really tiny, and what was happening is they were actually kicking off the bands, and so they realized that
How do you
they
know?
go to a smaller band.
See all those little numbers?
If you look, we record the species, what year, how old it is. So a hatch-year bird means it was born this year. So that bird, I knew it was a female because she had a white throat, but then those grooves that I was talking about in her bill, that also tells me she's a baby bird. So she just probably left the nest somewhat recently. So we call them hatch-year birds. So, and then an adult bird is an after hatch year. All we can say is we know it's an adult, but we don't know for sure when it hatched out. And then of course the sex, in this case this is males, and then our female sheet is over here. We measure the wing, if they cooperate. Sometimes they're really flicking their wing and I don't push it, I just pass that measurement. But I would say 99% of the time I can get a wing measurement. And then we measure the tail and the culmen or the bill. I look at the grooves, that etching in the bill, which you can only see with a magnifier. And we also look for gorget feathers. Like this morning we caught a lot of young males, and so they started getting, little red feathers. And then by next spring that'll be solid red, that nice ruby red that we see on the adult males. And then if the weight is high, I'll actually blow with a straw to move their feathers on their belly. And they store fat in their furculum, right up here. And I can actually see that. So if I see fat, that usually indicates they're getting ready to migrate. But so far we haven't caught anybody with fat. A lot of babies. Last weekend it was primarily adult females. And so I was like, oh, so the kids are still in the nest. But then starting Friday night, we were catching a lot of babies. So obviously they have left the nest and they are out here fighting amongst other hummingbirds. They're doing what they do. So molt, some of them have some body molt going on. The new feathers are coming in and they're pushing out the old feathers. And the new feathers growing in have like a little sheath around them to protect it. So we look at molt, of course get a weight on them, and then any notes that we want to make. Sometimes we'll see, I had a hummingbird once this year that had tons of leucistic or white feathers on its head and wings and body. which is not typical. So I took photographs, and anything that's out of the ordinary we'll make notes about. I'm also looking at pollen, how much pollen they're collecting on their bill, and so we make a measurement of that as well. Do you guys have questions about hummingbirds or anything I can answer? Do you have feeders up? Do you guys have feeders? Yeah.
I do.
I
We do.
don't know if you saw the hummingbird brochure over here. It's free. It's full of really good information about hummingbirds, so feel free to look at the information there. And it looks like we have another bird.
No rest for the wicked. Just wait, Jack.
So one of the reasons we ban in the morning and then later is because in the morning they want to fuel up and eat, and then same thing at night, they want to fuel up before they rest for the night.
Jack, it's your turn.
So it increases our chances of capture. But it is very much like fishing. Some days it's a total bust and nobody will go in the trap. Other days, I mean, I've sat in this chair for 2.5 hours not being able to get up because it's just one bird after another. So I like it when it's a little slower, I have to admit. What's that? Yeah. So one of the reasons I'm careful about taking the bird on that, they really have actually pretty strong feet. So they tend to grab onto the mesh. And I don't want to damage their feet, so I'm real careful when I'm pulling on them to get them out of the bag. And then we'll wrap them in this nylon footy. They're nice and secure here. This is another female. So again, I'm going to look to see if she has a band. And I want a nice clear view of this leg, so I'll push all the feathers away and I can see she does not have a band. Oops. And I'll put the band on her.
She's not complaining or whining, she's just chatting.
Yeah, they always have a lot to say. 67?
Yeah.
So now let's see if we can get a wing measurement on her. Something tells me she's not going to go for it, but we'll try.
Maybe she talked to the number 66.
Yeah. .42 even. So we're going to measure her tail, which is 26. We're going to spin her around and measure her bill. .46. And her bill. Huh, let me look at her. This is an adult female, there's no grooves. Alright, let's get a weight on her. She weighs 3.51, which is a really good weight for a female. So let's see if she's got any fat on her. So they store fat right here in their furculum. So she's got no fat. And she's not molting. So who's going to let her go?
She had fat.
It looks beigey. It looks like a beige. You ready?
Yeah.
Did you let the other one go?
No,
Oh, okay.
I did.
All right, put your hand up. You ready? Maybe I can get her to sit for a minute. Or not.
What do you say, Jack?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad we had somebody for you to let go. So if anybody has questions, just holler out. I'll try and answer them if I can. There's some interesting facts about hummingbirds. A lot of people don't know. When they're just sitting, perched, their heart is beating like 225 times a minute. And when they're flying around like they are, it's over 1,200 times a minute, which is just amazing. Like, how is that even possible? Like, ours is like 70 beats per minute. And they're like little machines, you know, with tremendous output, so they need refueling a lot. And I was just reading some information. Some guy figured out how much food they consume and nectar they consume, and compared to an adult human, it would be like us eating 155,000 calories a day and 100 gallons of water. Wow. Can you imagine? But they're just they're just going. Their metabolism is so high. And their wings, they fly their wings are in a figure-8 motion, which is really interesting, which allows them to go forward, backward, upside down, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's one of the things we're amazed by them, is they're just what they can do. And they have been recorded 50, 60 miles an hour straight. I'm assuming there's a little bit of some wind behind them when that happens. But when they store fat for migration, they can almost double their weight. And so that allows them to cross the Gulf of Mexico without any problems. There's been research done on the fat accumulation and how many miles they should be able to cover with that. And some researchers say 800, 1,200 miles. So to cross 500 miles on the Gulf, not a problem. But, I mean, it's astounding. It's this big and it is able to do that.
So
There
they
is
fly
some-
all the way across the
Yeah,
Gulf
and there's no
Mexico?
stopping, of course, because if they do, they perish. So I think they probably wait for conditions to be right, and there is one theory that they wait till dusk, so the majority of their journey is over, during the nighttime, so it's cooler, maybe safer too, less predators and things. But I've read it can be anywhere from, it could be up to 20-hour journey, so it's a long time of nonstop flight. So it's really amazing. I couldn't do that. None of us could do that. I'd get lost for sure. But and it's built in their DNA. So the adult males migrate first, the adult females, and then the young make their way. So it's just built in their DNA. They go all the way to Central America as far as northern Panama. So I've seen them in Costa Rica, and I just look at them and I'm like, how is this possible? But they do it, and they return. We've caught birds. We started banding here in 2014. And we have caught birds from 2014 last year. Not this year so far, but like I said, we had 2 birds from 2015, 2 from 2016, so that was really, really exciting.
So they usually return to the place where
Yeah, they have extremely strong site fidelity. So birds that were nesting here or born here, they will come back to their natal grounds. And then ruby throats have a huge range, so it goes even into Colorado a little bit, and then up into Canada. So they have a ginormous as they do out west. If you go to Arizona, they can get up like 17 species of hummingbirds. So we pretty much have the ruby throat, but rufous and annas have been showing up in the state. More so, you see them in the fall, winter, because they are cold hardy hummingbirds. And we talk about that in the brochure if you want to grab one. But yeah, the ruby throats are, they will return, and that's why it's so important for us to come close to the same day every year, so we can increase our chance of recapture. But then they've been feeding hummingbirds here for over 25 years. So they have a really strong population of birds coming, and then I'm sure birds far north of here are probably coming through, and this is a migration stopover site. So not only do you have resident birds and they're young, but you also have migratory birds passing through. So there are days where there's just tons of birds here. Like, this is really quiet. One time I was here, and like I said, for like 2.5 hours I sat here. It was bird, and we caught like 60 some birds in, I don't know, 2.5 hours or something. It was crazy. I was exhausted. I was like, can I get up and stretch my legs? So it is really important, and they remember these sites, whether it's a migratory stopover site or they were born here. And they will remember the feeders. Like if you have just one feeder in your yard and you've had a bird that either was a resident bird or just passed through, they will more than likely stop again, and they will know. Like they will go right to your yard and right where that feeder was. And I've seen it. I never believed it, but I've seen it. And they'll be like, where is it? Like it's supposed to be here. And then usually I run in the house and get one because I was very well trained. But I'm better now. I have the feeders out before they usually come. They usually show up in the state by early May, but I usually put mine out mid-April just in case you get an overzealous male that might be passing through. But they're fun, and if you don't have time to maintain feeders because it is a lot of work, just you can plant a lot of flowers they like, and it's easier.
Got another one.
Thank you, Jane. All right, let's see what we have here.
So I'm thinking, this would be twice as
Okay, I will try and not let
Would you
this
like
one
to let it
go.
go? Okay.
They have really so I don't want to damage their toes, especially if it's a young bird. It's going to have a little bit
And
more
look at that
delicate
dog.
toes. So you guys can get closer if you want, because this is a small bird, so it's kind of hard to see. But this is a young boy. This is a little male, so he has lots of streaking on his throat, and he has one of his gorget feathers coming in. See that one little lone red feather?
I don't.
Yeah, you have to be looking right at it. If it's
see
sideways, it's black because of the iridescence. So this is a little boy. So first thing we're going to do is make sure he does not have a band. And he does not. So we're going to put a band on.
So hatcher male.
Yeah, it's a hatcher male. There's one gorget feather. He is number 49.
Yes.
Okay, so when I put the band on, I make sure it's closed and then I spin it around because I want to make sure it's moving freely. I'm going to measure his wing. Okay, please don't do that, thank you. 38.4. Now young males have a little bit of white on what we call R3, just a little bit. But next year when he's an adult, this will all be black and it'll be longer. They get a really long tail. Right now it's 27 millimeters. And then the females have white on their tail also, but they have a lot more white. So next we're going to measure his bill. 15.5. And so next I'm going to look for the grooves that I talked about. 95%. So we're going to get a weight on him. 2.72, which is okay for a male. I'm sure he has no fat on him. All right, you're going to put your hand flat. There you go. You ready? Now, let's see if I can get him to stay for a second. He stayed for a second. You did very well.
49 males and then 66 females.
No, this is a sequence of numbers. They're in groups of 100. So we band at other sites. So just because, you know, that's number 50, that's not how many we caught here today. So they're in slots of 100. And like I said, males get a smaller band than the females. I always have a band ready because I don't know if a male or female's coming, and you just want that all ready to go so it's fast. So if you guys can't see well, feel free to come right next to me. They're small, so it's kind of hard. You got to get real close.
Get closer. This one's kind of big.
It's kind of big. You think it's a girl? The females are bigger. Okay, I like to use a sock because I think it makes the bird secure. It's a female. And she does not have a band. So see how I have a nice clear shot of the leg here? So I can see it really well. And the band the pliers only close so far, so I don't have to worry about damaging her leg. 68.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, please don't do that, okay? The bird can feel that and hear that. And we want to keep it as less stress as possible. .62. 28. This is going to be an adult, I think. I'll look at her bill, but she looks like an adult. Okay, we're going to measure her bill next. 17.21. Yeah, there's no grooves, so this is an adult. Okay, we'll get a weight on her. And who's going to let this one go?
Me.
Oh, do you mind if I?
3.45? No, not at all. I'm going to check to see if she has any molt or fat going on real quick here. There's no fat, but we'll give her a body molt of 1. Okay, so you just put your hand flat. You ready? Okay, let's see if she wants to stick around for a moment.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem.
It's an amazing experience.
I'm glad you guys are here. And
There's probably no more.
We went to Costa Rica too, and we saw where they had their little nests, and it was so adorable. They had like kind of like a magnifying glass.
it's amazing. Their nests are like, the ruby throats anyway, are like the nests. It's the size of like a walnut. And then it's made of like spider webbing and plant material fibers and things. So when the chicks grow, because the eggs are like the size of a black-eyed pea, so when they hatch, they don't have a long beak. It's just this little nub, and then of course it starts growing because they're in the nest for up to 34 days. So it's quite a process. And then so as they grow, the nest will expand with them.
Do they just have the one kind? Like, are they territorial? So
Oh,
like
they're
others
very
won't come?
territorial. If you go out there, you'll see all kinds of places.
We see that at home too. I was just wondering if
They're
they're
very
all like
naughty,
that.
which is why I like them so much.
I think we probably have different ones. Ours have like these emerald green heads.
Well, they're all going to have some emerald
The light's
green
better.
on them. The females have a white throat. That's what you want to focus on. Look at the throat. So if it's white or buffy, it's a female. And then the males, ruby red, of course. But the young males will have all this streaking, and then they slowly start to get the red gorget feathers.
So look at them closer.
There's lots of babies out right now, so it can be tricky figuring out who's who.
He's got something to say.
Yeah, some of them are real talkers. This is a female. She does not have a band.
She's just, no, she's
Well,
a
that's
chatty
a
Cathy.
that's a natural thing. If they whine, think about it. If you're a predator and it has you and you whine, more than likely you're going to drop it. And so it's a natural thing for them to do that. 69.
Yes.
So let's see if she'll let me measure her wing. She seems a little feisty. A lot of times if I cover them up, they feel more secure. So.
We always covered the parakeets' heads up when we put them in.
42.86. Okay, so she has got a tail of 28. So see on her, the females, they have a lot more white on these feathers, where the male just has, the young male has just a little bit, where she has lots of white. Okay, I know, we'll get you going in just a second. Every once in a while I have a bird that is not having it, and I let that bird go. I don't put it through that.
Right.
The bird always comes first. 17.64. Grooves are 95%. Hatcher, female, she weighs 3.33. All right, who's letting her go?
Can I try? I'll go.
All
you
right,
go.
you ready? Let's see if I can get her to sit.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
I just
problem.
got a picture of the prize.
So are you measuring the length of the bill then?
The culmen, yeah, the bill, from the base to the
Can we
tip.
go?
We've had a couple birds today that are heavy molt, and so they have all these pin feathers right going
Yeah,
down
I
the
have
bill.
a pretty
And that will
poor
go-
connection here. But thanks for watching, everybody. I might try to stick around for one more bird, see if I can let it go.
And all of them have been fat and healthy. It's kind of interesting because, so the ruby throat is our bird that nests here, and it's a heavily dominated species here. But fish have been showing up for over a century, and it used to be thought these birds are, doomed to death. They're vagrants. They've lost their way, and rufous hummingbirds are typically nest in southern Alaska. and their normal historical route would be to go directly south to Mexico to overwinter. But a portion of the population, for unknown reasons, is doing an elliptical migration. So when they're done nesting, which is early June, they go eastern seaboard. Sometimes through Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and 2014 had like 30 some of the hummingbirds, and they all got banded because they have several banders there. And then they start heading south, maybe Tennessee, Florida, then they go west again, Southern California, and then they go up. So it's this massive migration, but we don't really know why they're doing it. But because of banding, we're learning they are doing it. So a friend of mine lives in Tallahassee, Florida, and he caught a rufous hummingbird, and 5 months later it was caught by another bander in Prince William Sound, Alaska. So it's over 3,500 miles. Bird was fine, took measurements, let it go. And so for their size, they're the longest distance migrant. Why they're doing this, route, nobody knows. There are theories that because California's habitat's been so degraded, that this is a portion of the population, this is how they're dealing with it. But I'm not sure we'll ever know. But one thing we are learning is that they are doing it and they're surviving, and then they'll come back year after year. There was a gal in Mayville, Wisconsin. She had an adult male rufous show up 2 years in a row. Now they moved, they built a house, so I don't know if the new homeowners put hummingbird feeders out or not. So the one thing is for sure, from banding, we're starting to learn a lot about their movements. Right now, there's not a lot of data for Wisconsin's hummingbirds, so that's what we're trying to do, is get a nice baseline of data. And I banded several locations, and one thing we had happen this year, which was exciting, we connected 2 sites, so we already have a migration line. It was in Sawyer County on Connors Lake, and it was recaptured at our site in Whitewater. So, and that's almost 6 hours directly south. So we already now have a migration line started. So that was really exciting. And we do get a fair amount of recapture. So like that Connors Lake site, last year I banded 77 hummingbirds there, and we had 22 recaptures this year. And we had a couple days where it was just rainy and cold, so we couldn't even band. So I'm curious to know how many more we would have gotten.
So do you enter all this data in a database?
Yeah,
then?
so the U.S. Geological Survey is the one who issues your permits and your bans, and you have to get special training, obviously, to do this. And then all this is entered into a huge database. So let's say you guys found a bird, let's say it hit a window, and you saw it was, deceased, and you saw it had a band. You can enter the band number, and they will immediately tell you who banded it, where, all the information about it, and then they also let the bander know. So even though it's a sad situation if it's deceased, it's still valuable information to gain. But yeah, it does go into a huge database that's shared with researchers in the U.S. and Canada. The USGS.gov site is pretty interesting. Like if you want to look up longevity records or just some other information about different species of birds, it has a lot of information on it.
Do they monitor the birds in Costa Rica? Like, can you see any birds from here that wind up there?
Well, that would be great if there was banding going on down there. I personally don't know of anybody banding down there. We're hoping to start banding all birds down there. Not birds of prey, but passerine, songbirds, like neotropical migrants, hummingbirds. We're working on getting a permit to do that. Costa Rican end, we're set, but we have to do some stuff on this end. But we're hoping to start doing that. Unfortunately, I wish there was a spot ruby-throated's congregated, like there was just a huge wintering population, but they're not. They're really spread out. Yeah. Because that would be the ticket to go to the location that there's a large number of them. Because some species are like that. You got dick thistles, they all migrate to, I think, Venezuela or something. There's like hundreds of thousands of them. But ruby-throats aren't doing that. I think they're scattered all throughout Central America, as far as I know, as far as northern Panama. But they're really spread out. So the odds on, it'd be great if they were in one spot, because then you could go there and just from, hopefully, sheer numbers of banding, then you might get some return data. But we know they're coming back because we're recapturing them, which is astounding because they're probably crossing the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, hummingbirds. Laura and don't want to scare them up. I think he's around this way. Yeah, I see him.
Where is he?
He's over on the side of the road there. Just wait, there's a car. Over here, Alex, come on. Alex, stay over here. Okay. Jack, stay over here on this side of the road. Jack, stay on this side. No, Jack, come here. Jack. Yeah, but don't walk past the birds. What? Yeah, well, walk around. Don't go past where they're trying to capture the birds. May I ask what you're doing when you take the red fabric off and on?
We'll, we give them access to their food for like 5 minutes.
Gosh,
And
okay.
then we cut it off so that it kind of forces them to go to the traps. We don't want to cut off their food completely because there's not a lot of natural nectar sources around here. So we don't want to, cut off completely.
Sure.
We'll just give them access for, moments and then, so.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Has been recently banding up there and caught a bird that had a band on it, and turns out she had banded it in whitewater last year, right?
I think so.
So,
Yeah, last fall, I think.
so again, I guess 4 or 5 years worth of research is still pretty,
Alex, stay here.
pretty young.
Do you want to go back to Mom and go around that way? If you want to go over that way, go around this way. Here.
They have the pelts thing at 7, and then 8:30 they have the.
Mr. Algie. Alex, stay on this side of the road. You're gonna scare away the. You're gonna scare away the hummingbirds.
If you want to see the bunny, hang out by the vending machine.
I was going there.
We'll go that way then.
Alex, wrong way. Alex, go around.
Here, I'll show you where to
I
go.
don't want
No, here.
I'm gonna call it quits pretty soon here, I think. We're gonna go dissect some owl pellets next. I guess maybe you guys could come along. Pellets are owl pellets are poop.
I thought they were dissecting an owl. Why are they dissecting owls?
Bring your hummingbird book.
Why? I thought they were gonna dissect like actual owls.
Nope.
Why?
Because there's no dead owls around for one. You guys just see me picking my nose. So pick the scab.
A late nester, or a bird that's just having a rough time of migration. I mean, it's rough out there. Maybe he hit his head and was out of commission for a couple of days. So, because a lot of birds, unfortunately, hit windows, and so it can really throw them for a loop if they survive. But and the biggest thing is with feeders is keeping them clean. But I tell people it's a pain. Feeders are a pain. I know, I got them. And I always tell people, if you don't have time to maintain your feeders, just plant flowers. It's easy. All you gotta do is water them once in a while. And that way it's easy and you don't have to worry or feel bad because you change the nectar. And
I see that, and like, if it's have to change it, and then
this year I've had to change it like every 2 days. It's just been hot and humid. And if it's cloudy, it's bad. So we were banding at Devil's Lake State Park, but we wanted to. But the first time we came out there, the feeders were so nasty, and they had like chunks of stuff floating in. I didn't even know what that was. So I talked to them and I said, at the zoo, I work at the Milwaukee County Zoo. I said, we have volunteers that change our feeders 3 times a week. So, that's taken care of and they're cleaned. And plus, you don't want your guests seeing dirty feeders because that sends the wrong message. So the naturalist thought that was a good idea, but the feeders were in the concessions area, so a different person managed that. And so she kept telling her, you have to clean the feeders. And we went a second time, and they were dirty. And guests of the park actually said,
that's not good, right? So when your guests are noticing it, I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
So I told them that if you're not going to clean your feeders, don't put them up. It's that simple because your
Yes.
guests are complaining about it.
Yes, exactly.
And so they opted to not have feeders.
Mm.
So I had a
Aw.
friend go out there and she said, yeah, there's no feeders anymore. But
Aw.
that's okay. I'd rather you didn't
Sure.
do that. But what's sad is people love watching hummingbirds. Like these guys do a
Yes.
great job of keeping the feeders clean. And when I meet people and I mention Wildlife State Park, oftentimes the first thing out of their mouth is, "Oh, all those hummingbirds."
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. This is just such a.
I was wondering when we first got here, I saw the people that were lined up. I'm like, what's going on?
People stand and watch the birds. I mean, they've been feeding hummingbirds here for over 25 years. So for us as a study site, it's great because this is like a permanent, setup, and the birds have been conditioned to come. What do you see? Oh yeah. Ooh, it's fast.
I was looking at the bumblebee.
This is so cool.
Well, I'm glad you guys were here for it. So.
Thank you.
Can you guys say thank you again?
And like
Oh, you're
once in
welcome.
a
I'm glad
lifetime.
we caught
thing.
birds so you can let them go.
Yeah, it's so awesome. We
It's
got to touch them.
frustrating when you have people and you're not catching birds, but we have no control over that. So.
Can you Jack caught one, Jack got one, and I got
I
one,
know.
and Mom got one.
Awesome.
And now, how long are you going to stay banding tonight?
Just till like 7:30
Okay.
because I want to give the birds. I kind of baby them, so I want to give them time to eat for the night, and then we'll be back in the morning early. And then after that, we'll fold up camp and go because we got to go back to work tomorrow on Monday.
Okay.
We have about a 3-hour drive.
Oh,
so,
where are you from?
Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, you
Yep.
said Milwaukee, yes.
My mom works in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah. So you guys are from Milwaukee area?
No.
We live in Madison, but I work at Frederick Hospital.
Okay.
So, but I have family, like my dad lives in Menominee Falls,
Oh,
my
sure.
mom lives in Holy Hill, and then my
Oh,
grandma
yeah.
lives in Germantown.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm because I work in the county. You have to, or for the county, you have to live in the county.
Oh.
Well, they changed it recently, but I'm not
Sure.
moving. But Menominee Falls is right across the street from me.
okay.
So I'm like as far northwest in the county as you can go.
Okay.
So I like it. The parkway's right behind the subdivision. I like it.
My dad lives off kind of like Pilgrim Road there.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
I was
Well,
ready.
Yes, I know. Oh.
So are you guys camping here tonight?
Yes, and we're gonna go to the Pelt.
Pellets.
pellets,
Owl they're dissecting owl pellets.
Owl pellets. Yeah.
Yes, so we're gonna do that, and then the astronomy thing at 8:30.
I know. I was hoping we could go to that. We'll see how tired people are.
They're really tired.
One time, my friend saw a baby bird, like it was a baby robin. He found it in her backyard. It was like newborn. It was like born like.
Did it have feathers on it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, it's still naked, huh?
Yeah. So. And we took care of it. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, but
But I think I overfed it, and
Yeah.
I don't think it was gonna last anyway. So maybe it was good.
Well, they need to be kept warm and
Yeah.
fed every 20 minutes. And,
we wrapped it in like little cloth.
yeah, and it could be. Was he dropped? Do you think? 'Cause
No, he dropped from the nest because my
Our neighbor found him.
yeah,
Our neighbor boy
sometimes
found
they
him.
Get injured from the fall, so.
Yeah, like he was like looking outside. My friend, he was just looking outside and he saw this baby bird like
Yeah.
laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And then
Well, you're
like,
trying
put
to
him in
help
a
them.
box.
Yeah,
Sometimes it doesn't
exactly.
always work.
We buried him in our backyard and made a gravestone.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. Yes.
Do you guys know how lucky you are to have touched a hummingbird?
Yeah, and
I know.
Did one of them poop on your hand?
Yeah.
See, not everybody can say that A, they had a hummingbird in their hand, but B, that it pooped on them.
And we took a video of it,
That's
so
Uh-huh.
pretty cool.
you'll always have that. You'll always have that memory.
Can you guys say thank you one more time?
Thank you.
Oh, you guys
Thank
are welcome.
you so
And
much.
like I said, I'm really glad we had birds for you.
Oh, this has been awesome.
What was the biggest bird you've ever caught?
The biggest bird I have ever caught would probably be, because we do mist netting at the zoo and banding of songbirds. It
Okay.
would probably be probably a blue jay. Yeah, they're a handful.
Yeah, they're sassy.
And
Now,
they're sassy.
the public go, or they just have to pay admission and then watch you guys? Or
Our
is that a
banding site is
private-
off the
Oh.
beaten track.
That would
Um,
make sense.
I mean, if we do have people come and watch, but it's like a private thing.
Okay.
So, like if you called, and I'm Mickey, by the way.
if you call and said, hey, I want to talk to Mickey at the aviary. I work with birds, imagine that.
Okay, sure.
I'm the only Mickey at the zoo, so if you said, I need to talk to
Okay.
Mickey, and you said, hey, I met you at Wild Loosing, and we're going to be in town, or you're going to be banding, and then I would just make arrangements to meet you, and we
Okay.
do take people back to our band site,
Okay.
but it's not like a general open thing.
It's the Milwaukee Zoo that you work at?
yeah.
Oh, I
I
love it
was
there.
just thinking my dad, I mean, you know how crazy my dad is into birds.
Oh,
It is,
cool.
it's like his passion, so I was thinking,
Yeah.
wow, he would really like to
Oh,
do
he'll
that.
like the video you took
Yes.
of them letting the birds go and stuff.
Yes,
Cool.
but yeah, it was cool.
Is it like, would it be okay to like catch like a bird at like a homemade trap? Like
No.
you put some
No.
food in?
No,
No.
they're federally protected, so I
Yeah.
have to have special permits to do this. You can't just go out and do it. You'll get in big trouble with the law. Yeah.
And you could break a wing and
Yeah, you gotta get trained so you know how to
Yeah.
handle them. Mm-hmm.
You could just get a little sugar and water and hold it up.
You
that's
could.
what we did.
Yeah, some hummers will come if you're still, and like in your red shirt. If you were just sitting, I bet they would
Okay.
come and hover around you.
Sure. Now, was I telling you? I don't know who I was telling, but when we were in Jamaica, we went to this place.
It was, I think,
It was way in the mountains, and they had these little bottles, and we just sit there very
Oh, sure.
quiet, and then we just
Yeah.
go like this.
this is a Dr. Bird. Laura's dad was really, he was
Oh,
so,
Oh,
Yeah,
they were
I-
so
Yep,
cool.
those
They-
are cool birds.
they
I've
weren't-
been there. I've seen them. Yeah.
They weren't the ones that were feeding off of us, but we did see
The
some.
nice
in the-
long tail, the males. Yeah, that's
it was
pretty cool.
amazing.
no, it's a Dr. Bird that flew up to Mary, I'm pretty sure.
It was?
Yeah.
I would think they would. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know there's this type of hummingbird that can only fly for 30 seconds because it has like a big long tail with this like big end of a feather
Then how?
on
Would,
it. It's like this long, and they only can fly for 30 seconds in the air.
then how would they
Mm.
I
migrate?
don't.
I think you might be misremembering that.
Yeah.
It said
Yeah.
it in like a.
Hummingbirds are
book.
just like
Yeah.
they're like little machines that are constantly working,
Yeah.
and so that's why they're eating all the time.
Mhm.
So they really don't. I mean, they rest at night to sleep, but that's about it.
Wow.
They're actually out before it's light out. Like at home, it's dark out, and I can hear them.
Oh,
So
oh,
they're
cool.
coming to the feeders when it's still dark out.
Oh, nice.
Well, they know where the feeders are. So,
Sure.
and they've been in torpor all night, so they need to refuel to get
Sure.
going, and they want to defend their territory. So
Sure.
they're naughty, but that's why I like them.
And and I'll let you go. How many
Oh, no, it's
feeders do you have at your house?
I only have two. I have one this year. I have a dominant male in the yard, and he chases away everybody.
Oh,
So
sure.
now, last Sunday when I got home from here, my husband said there were 4 birds in the yard. I was too tired to band though, so I didn't. But I suspect it was a female and her offspring, and they were all chasing and stuff. But there were 4 birds. But
Oh,
I have
cool.
just a typical urban lot, so their territory is supposed to be about 1/4 of an acre. But there's a guy in Michigan that has like 2 acres, and I've seen pictures. It looks like it's heavily wooded. I'm assuming he has a water source because it seems like whenever there's like a lake or ponds or
Sure.
something, and then forest, there's like lots of hummingbirds because that water I think generates lots of bugs,
Oh,
which they are
sure.
huge bug eaters. And then the trees, of course, are great nesting and shelter.
Sure.
So he counted 22 nests on his property. This is
Wow.
2 years ago, I think. 22 nests on a 2-acre plot of land.
That's
Now,
really
some of those females were double nesting. So one female, I think, if I remember this right, the chicks were about to fledge or almost fledge, or just fledge.
Sure, don't do that.
And then a few feet down on the same limb, she had another nest going. So
Wow.
their energy demands are so high, I can't imagine taking care of these fledged ones for up to 3 weeks, and then you're sitting on eggs. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how they do it.
Oh, and what was your name again?
Mickey.
Mickey. Okay, so nice
And I'm
to
on the
meet you.
back of that
Oh, you
hummingbird
are.
brochure. Me and Cynthia Bridge are the banders in the state.
Is this? I took some for my
Oh, these
dad
are all the
and-
same. There's
Oh,
just
they
different
are?
covers.
Oh,
Yep.
I'll put all these
Yep.
back. I don't want to take all
Yep.
these.
And so I am right here, Mickey.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So
So
wait.
do you have one? Do you have one then?
Yes, and
Okay.
I'm gonna take one. I didn't realize we had all these.
No, yeah, they're different covers, but it's the same
Oh,
literature.
and all these too. This is like, yeah.
Daddy, I'm a bird.
Yeah.
Daddy, look. I'm a bird.
So just so you know, there's different covers, but it's
same information.
Maybe I should just pull them out.
Good, you put money in, thank you.
So I'm glad that everything worked out. You guys were able to
Oh, yes, thank
and you got to let one go too, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So will we see you guys tomorrow morning maybe, or?
A good chance of it.
Well, we say 7, but we're gonna be here earlier, much to Jane's demise. She's not happy about that. We gotta get up when the birds are up.
I don't know. We might not make it that early.
We'll be here till like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll see you then.
But the birds are busiest right at in the early morning. Once that sun comes out, they seem to go.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Say thanks, guys, and say bye.
Say thank you.
Oh, we're going the wrong way. There we go.
Come here, guys.
But Mommy, I'm a birdie.
Wow.
How did the bird?
Okay, over here.
Heaven is a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is not a place on earth. Ooh, baby, place on earth.
Thanks, Mama G.
What? Oh, so we're gonna need to like watch this pelt thing for just a bit, and then we have to have some snacks. No,
Are we going to the campsite?
Yeah, we have to go to this Peterson thing where the pelt is. 7 o'clock Peterson. We don't have to stay there the whole time, just to look what they're doing.
Mom, I wish we had an art or like a.
I know.
Why did we go back here? Are we gonna be with Aunt Mary after this place?
We have to talk to her. Where is this Peterson building?
Didn't you say it was up by the concessions?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I could buy stuff
If anything, I would like to buy, if you want to buy a t-shirt or something from that place.
Who would buy it?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying.
But I could buy it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Very bad girl.
That lady really knew her stuff. Wow.
Isn't this brochure? But it's so long. Can you draw on it? No, it's so long.
Where I was at, the reception was bad, but it should be improving as we get close more to the center of the park.
Look, it's so long. There's 2 books.
I love you guys too. That was like so worth the trip here.
What was it called? The place? The Paul Lawrence? Is that where you have to go?
I thought it was the Peterson.
Okay.
I wrote it down, or I typed it, or texted it to myself so I wouldn't forget it. Wait, I have, oh, hold on here.
I have 6 o'clock concession, 7. Yep.
So you could just practice to yourself?
Well, that's how I remember things, or if I have to, if someone says something and I don't want to forget it or make a note, I just text it to myself. I guess I could write it in notes, but...
Take you guys to Treasure Cave tomorrow, maybe.
You said we would visit it today. Playground, I want to play in the playground.
Not right now, because we have to look at those pelts. And then, what?
Owl pellets.
Owl pellets.
I'm not looking at poop.
Well, I just want to see it at least. Well, you got pooped on by a hummingbird.
Why? I'm looking at poop.
Can you park up there close? I know, I just was curious.
Isn't that a place on Earth? I don't want to eat birds. I don't want to eat birds.
You want to run up there and ask?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had a sign on there. Well, that's okay, the ranger is right there. Oh, you want to park it first?
I don't know where to go for these owl pellets. Oh, I'm so tired. I got like an hour's sleep last night.
I got only 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
I got 2 seconds.
You guys were sawing logs all night.
I'm a sound owl. I make sounds. Stop! What did you say?
Let's get out. The Peterson building is right behind.
Okay.
Where's my purse?
Remember when you haven't slept in 16
Where's my purse?
Now it's,
I don't know.
Now it's
Did you leave it there?
21 years.
No, because I swear to God I didn't. Because I had this phone.
Check in the back.
Here, guys, do you want
No,
to get
I've
out
never
for a second?
slept in my life.
Well, we better go back if
Well, I can go back and... Jack, watch out. Why don't you guys do the pellets and I'll quit go? Well, you guys are the one that wanted to do this.
I didn't.
Okay. I don't even know how to get there. Should I?
Here, all right, you go.
Well, no.
You go with the boys, and I'll go see if
Come on, guys. One of you come with me. We're watching the pellets.
both of you go on. Go on, go watch the pellets.
Who's gonna go find my purse? I'm sorry.
Is it there?
Yeah, it has to be.
For crying out, hurry up! Come on.
Come on, I have to get my purse. Oh, I'm such a idiot. I didn't do that.
Don't call yourself names, Mama.
What?
Don't call yourself names. She's an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Norma. I jest. Hey, Rena. Rena Pina, hello. Sherry Berry. Michelle, how are you? What are you laughing at, sir? Purse Hunter. Dang it. I've got this yeast infection in my nose. Won't quit. Keeps crusting up. Right up here. Dang it. They do a nice little, they do a lot of fun programming here. You know, and it's free. They have a astronomy thingamajigger with, I don't even know. Dang it. Alright. Oh, and then the hummingbirds, and now let's see. Not seeing it. First I didn't see it. And I asked, and I walked around the building. And no one had seen it. But then she had left it inside the building. We got it, we got it. Oh, tired. Hey there, Jimmy. How's Diane? Just watch. We're at Wyalusing State Park, and we are camping. And there's a person that captures hummingbirds here and bands them to study them. And so we watched her and the boys and Laura get to let go of a hummingbird. The lady put it in their hand and then it flew away. And then now we're gonna go see if we can watch some owl pellets being dissected. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Assuming that they're still dissecting owl pellets. They really are. They're really cool, aren't they, Michelle? Hey. Hey.
Dad, we're dissecting.
Did you find my?
Look what I found, Dad. This is an owl poop. This is owl throw up.
Like the bones and all
Look
that?
at all the bones I found. Look at
Here's
this.
the chart.
Also, we can keep the bones.
Oh, cool.
I found a rodent jaw.
Alex, that must be really hard for you with those gloves.
You can't believe I dissected all with
Yeah,
that.
be careful. Oh, thank you. I was taking video of them.
I found this looks like a vertebrae.
I
What a vertebrae.
want to see. They have a good one. Something. You guys should check that out.
I like it.
Yeah, go over there.
You did good getting that one out.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Yeah, you can see she's still.
I want to see it.
Now, do you find these droppings all over?
No.
Where's? How do you obtain these?
We ordered them.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you
Yes.
order them from like the DNR or?
I actually got them off Amazon.
Seriously?
You get them off Amazon?
Amazon has everything.
Well, I guess so. Now, are these?
With free delivery?
I mean, we had Prime. Well, I mean, I used my Prime, but yes.
So are these pellets from owls from Wisconsin or
So these are from Barn Owls.
barn owls? Okay. Wow.
Normally, if you buy pellets, most of the time they're Barn Owls. I'm not sure why.
Maybe
It's probably
because
easy to
these
collect.
are kind of pellets.
Yeah.
I wonder what this is.
You just look right there.
Wow, you guys really got the good stuff.
I still
No,
have
it's fun. I always find it interesting.
bones in my chunks. I dug a bit into the bone.
It's pretty cool. You don't have to be like a real like scientist to figure out what they're eating.
What could I have found?
It's like we're going on a treasure.
What'd you find?
What could I have found so far? I dig holes in my bones, like stab a little hole with a toothpick to look inside it.
Did you?
I stabbed a hole where the hole is on this side. I'm finding a lot of bones. Also, little bitty chunks.
Yep.
So what are these? Like little rib bones or?
I see
guess
little.
yeah.
I'm seeing ribs. A lot of ribs. She got a really good find. She found a skull.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had that skull.
You might.
Yeah, we had
They weren't as big as that one, but wow, that was a big skull.
This is all.
Hey. Hi. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
I think I'll wait till tomorrow. I was thinking about getting some cotton candy, but I'll wait.
What's just in the box?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, though. I just thought better of it. Hey, Tyler. Go to look at what the closest overlook over here. Later on, I'll take you farther down. Just down here. There's a really cool path that runs along like this bluff. And it gets, even at noon when we were down there, it's moist and wet and dark. Nice and cool. And then there's a really cool cave they call Treasure Cave. Anyway. Going by. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. My first time here. It's Wyalusing State Park. It's a confluence of the Mississippi and the Wisconsin rivers. I think that might be the Mississippi over there. It's the Wisconsin River. Heart-shaped things. How do you mean? The cave is really cool down here. You go through this nice path through the woods down here. Nice. It's really nice. Take you down there later. Prairie du Chien is the nearest town. Wyalusing is the state park. It's Wisconsin's oldest state park, I guess. Well, I think I might end it here. I want to thank everybody for joining me with the hummingbirds and the owl pellets. We'll just end it with this nice view. Later on tonight, I'll be back. I don't know how my night is going to shape up. I'm going to try to spend time with you guys, but I'm also going to try to spend some time with my wife. Dang it. I might take a shower tonight too, and if that's the case, you might see more of me. I don't know. I might do a short shower or a longer shower and a short by mouth, or short shower and a longer by mouth later. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Dang it. Alright, back at you, Brad. Oh, I love you too, Jimmy, Michelle, Diana, Mama G. Alright, I love you all. Alright, come back later. I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about, and so will I. Alright. I love you. Mwah.